Hello everyone, good evening. It is raining raids in opposition-ruled states today. Karnataka, West Bengal, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, Rajasthan as well, seeing ED and IT sleuths swoop in on MPs, MLAs and ministers to investigate various cases. In Hyderabad, 14 locations connected with BRS MLA Maganti Gopinath were raided. He's an MLA from Jubilee Hill. And reports say that 100 IT teams were in action today to probe tax evasion by chit fund companies. In neighboring Karnataka, ruled by the Congress party, Shivamogga was the scene of action. The ED conducted raids at the premises of Congress leader Manjunath Gowda, who was just yesterday elected as the chairperson of the District Cooperative Bank. The raids are linked to an alleged fake gold scam in the bank. Another southern state on the IT's travel list today is Tamil Nadu. 40 locations, including DMK MP Jagat Rakshakan, were raided today. Chief Minister Stalin is asking the BJP to stop this witch hunt. It was a busy day for the ED in another opposition-ruled states. 13 locations are being raided in connection with an alleged civic body recruitment scam in West Bengal. The state's Food and Supply Minister, Ratin Ghosh, has been raided today. The opposition is calling this the BJP's Raid Raj, where the ED and the CBI have become tools for the BJP to harass, intimidate and malign opposition states and leaders. The question that the opposition is asking is very simple. Why are there no raids ever on BJP leaders or in BJP-ruled states? Now, today's raids in various opposition-ruled states are coming after yesterday, there was an 11-hour raid against Sanjay Singh in the national capital, post which the Aam Aadmi Party MP was ultimately arrested. Singh today has been sent to 5 days in ED custody. This is what he said outside court.
संजय जी, आपको गिरफ्तार किया गया कहेंगे आप? देखिए, नरेंद्र मोदी अडानी के नौकर हैं और अडानी के नौकर से हम लोग डरते नहीं। जितना अत्याचार जुल्म करना है करें, कोई दिक्कत नहीं। आपके जो आरोप है बुनियाद है बोला गया पैसे लिए आपने बुनियाद आरोप है, हम लोग डरते नहीं, लड़ेंगे।
My guest this evening for a very quick chat, Neoma Gupta, spokesperson of the BJP, Ghanshyam Tiwari, spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, Taufiq Ahmed Khan is a political analyst, will be speaking on behalf of the Aam Aadmi Party, and Lokesh Jindal is speaking on behalf of the Congress Party. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Should I start with the lady here? Neoma Gupta, the opposition is calling this the Raid Raj, rule by raid. The only thing, according to the opposition, that the Modi government can do right now against the India bloc is to raid its leaders for the purposes of intimidating and harassing them. The question they are asking, Ms. Gupta, is how come that only opposition leaders and opposition states see these raids and not states ruled by the BJP or BJP ministers?
So that's just such a hogwash conclusion to come to, because it's very specific, and these type of allegations have to be very specifically adhered to and addressed to. If you look at Karnataka, the Congress leader, I think RM Manjunath Gowda, he has been raided not due to some vendetta, but because he was allegedly committed a tax fraud. In West Bengal, if you go, the Food and Civil Supplies Minister, Ratin Ghosh, has been investigated for a scam in the municipality recruitment program. This is again not done on Modi ji's instructions, as the opposition, that's the safest thing to say, because they don't counter any of their things on substance. Further, if you go into and by the way, that was initiated by the Calcutta High Court itself. Further, the Education Minister, Partha Chatterjee, was arrested in the infamous teacher recruitment scam, in which piles of cash were recovered. So evidence was clearly stipulated over there. I'll go a step further on this one. Mamata Banerjee, and I quote, said, only those who work make mistakes. Sometimes while cooking, our mothers and sisters also put an extra pinch of salt. So this is not a targeted thing which is happening. If you do wrong, being a person in the public space, a political person, you will be answerable within the framework of the law. All the regulatory authorities are independent functionaries. The judiciary works on its own. So this constant retort saying that, oh, it's a political vendetta. Anytime anything goes wrong, that's the only rebuttal I get to hear. But there are never any specific answers are on addressal with evidence with it. Secondly, the recent arrest which happened in the past 24 hours, it has been done also on the basis of a confessionary statement, which is paramount within the framework of law. So why doesn't Mr. Kejriwal come out in the open and say, yes, I was aware of the scam. Yes, no. What was the role of the scam? Instead of doing this whole thing, oh my God, it's political vendetta. The other political parties intimidated with its strength. If it was intimidated by its strength or anything like that, there would be protests. There would
Ms.
be
Gupta, since you brought up the matter of the Aam Aadmi Party,
Yes.
let me also just remind you and our viewers that the Supreme Court was hearing the bail matter of
Yes.
Manish Sisodia, who's now been in jail for the last 8 months.
Yes.
And the Supreme Court has had some very tough questions to ask of both the ED and the CBI. I'm sure you're aware of the questions that have been asked. To put it
Yes.
simply, they're saying, where is the proof? You're talking about, one agency is talking about a 30 crore scam, the other agency is talking about a 100 crore scam. All right, it's a 100 crore scam. But where is the money? Show me the money.
Okay.
You have not
Can
managed to establish a money trail, and yet you keep saying there is a 100 crore rupees scam. Show us the proof. Where is the proof is what the Supreme Court today has asked the ED and the and the CBI. But give me a minute here. I just brought this up because you spoke, you brought up the matter of Sanjay Singh as well. But Ghanshyam Tiwari, you know what Neoma Gupta is saying is a valid point. She's like, this is almost a cliche now. Every time there is a raid on an opposition leader, the first thing that the opposition, especially the united opposition, will step out and say is that this is political vendetta. Modi हार रहे हैं, इसलिए ये raid करवा रहे हैं, डरे हुए हैं, etc., etc. What Neoma is saying is logical. She says go by the merit of each case. In each case, there is some degree of allegations, some degree of evidence, which is why these raids are happening. Where is the problem in that? Where is the vendetta in that? Ghanshyam, your network isn't very stable, I'm afraid. So we'll try and fix that because I do want to hear from you. Let's just try and fix Ghanshyam Tiwari's network issues, guys, so that we can go to him. But Tawfiq, if you're through with us, would you want to take that question?
Yes, yes, Shreya. So you see the problem with the way the BJP is functioning. If they are really, so honest about their stand against corruption, then why on the on the same case, same corruption charges where there are several leaders accused, and out of those leaders, 2 joins BJP and then they are given protection, and rest 5 gets arrested. I'm talking about Bengal, where we saw 2 years ago, the CBI had arrested several ministers in Bengal and did not take action against Subhendu Adhikari and Mukul Roy, even though they are accused of the same corruption charges, the charges against which the other leaders were arrested. This is just one example from Bengal that I can give you. There are several examples like this. But like what happened to Himanta Biswa Sarma, there were charges against him. It was the BJP, when Himanta Biswa Sarma was in Congress. BJP wrote an entire book about the corruption against him. And when he joined BJP made him a chief minister. Similarly, they took no action against the ex-chief minister of Karnataka. They have not taken any action against their own leaders in Madhya Pradesh and in several other states which are ruled by BJP. So the question will definitely be asked that BJP is using this agency as a tool, as a weapon, just before election, just to win the election, just to create a narrative. You will see all these actions, these ED or CBI, they get active only just 3-4 months, 5 months, 6 months before the election. They were active in 2021 in Bengal and 2019 in Bengal, just before 4-5 months before election. And they have now become active.
Okay, that's a valid point.
Before 6-7 months before the 2024.
Okay, that's a valid point. Neoma Gupta, the charge is washing machine. Neoma Gupta, the charge by the opposition is that the BJP is a washing machine. If you have such a problem with corruption, and any government should have a problem with corruption, then why do you not have a problem allying with someone like an Ajit Pawar? Several cases against him, no raids against him. The other man on your screens, Himanta Biswa Sarma, officially joined the BJP. Again, accused of multiple things, including a water supply scam when he was in the Congress. He's now as pure as Ma Ganga because he's in the BJP. Narayan Rane, money laundering case against him when he was in the Shiva Sena. Now, clean chit because he's with the BJP. There are multiple such leaders across states.
The washing machine.
Which is why the charge of targeting comes against the BJP.
The washing machine maxim which you are trying to apply will not hold good, because I've repeatedly said this, not in this debate, in the prior debate, that the regulatory authorities, being independent, are doing their necessary investigation against anybody who's caused any chaos within their own criminal system or civil system. How can I say that ED has taken this stand against this one, and so on and so forth? Similarly, it applies on a blanket base throughout pan-India. So while somebody is saying that, okay, Neoma, these type of people within your system are being held accused for something, or outside your system, everybody is answerable to the law. That is what India is all about. It's a democratic country where equality supersedes everybody. The main accusation which was held to me was it's only within those states where people are, where BJP is not in majority. It is blanket. It is a blanket process which happens, and nobody wants to interfere in the system. And also, ma'am, may I suggest that post the investigation authorities, the judiciary also plays a key role. So, being independent bodies, whoever is liable within the purview of law will be held liable once the evidence is propped up.
Okay, it's interesting that you call the CBI and the ED and the IT independent agencies just doing their job. That's the crux of your argument. Ghanshyam Tiwari, respond to that. But these are investigative agencies. Their job is to keep this country and its officials honest and its citizens honest. If they have intimation of a scam or possible corruption, they will investigate. Why blame the BJP and Modi Sarkar for it? अपना काम ही तो कर रहे हैं.
Good evening, Shreya, to you, the viewers, and my fellow co-panelists. I just read two headlines from the newspapers of the day. One is Supreme Court grills CBI ED, says case inferences will fall flat in 2 minutes. This is popular education minister of Delhi, elected multiple times against the wishes of Bharatiya Janata Party, against a central government that has gone at war, almost at war with the state government, defied the Supreme Court verdict about the kind of responsibility the state government is entitled to in the Constitution. This is what the Supreme Court is saying. Supreme Court is grilling CBI ED, and he has been in jail for 8 months. The headline from yesterday reads that Enforcement Directorate cannot make arbitrary arrests under PMLA. Supreme Court. It is almost as if Supreme Court is the only functioning constitutional authority left in front of the Modi government. Everything else is demolished. We talk about raids as if it is Putin, a dictator, who is raiding Ukraine. This is how Prime Minister Modi treats the opposition-ruled states. Instead of bombs, there are CBI and ED and other agencies of Bharatiya Janata Party. My final point is that, yes, one can say that opposition is harsh when Sanjay Singh says कि Modi Adani का नौकर है. This is what Sanjay Singh said. Or when Arvind Kejriwal says that चौथी पास राजा देश को नहीं चला सकता. But these are criticisms in democracy that BJP has often responded to with harsher language. But when they twist the democracy, when they ensure that the nation looks more like dictatorship, where journalists are raided, journalists across ideologies have come to Press Club of India to protest. Several journalistic bodies have written to the Supreme Court. This is the clear writing on the wall that BJP is going to lose 2024, and as a result, the dictator in them is nervous, And in that nervousness, they are assaulting the democracy every day to keep the headline going, to somehow persuade people that it is not Adani that needs to be probed, but it is Sanjay Singh, it is Arvind Kejriwal, it is Manish Sisodia, it is Mamta Banerjee who needs to be probed.
Would you want to respond to that, Neoma?
See, when I hear of all these things, that one is intimidated as the prime minister of the country and he will resort to such sort of means while we have an independent setup of regulators as well as a judiciary. I don't understand why don't people give specific answers to specific questions? Because when you posed your query to me, you were very specific and I answered to the point vis-a-vis allegations which are pertaining with raids pan-India in different states exactly. Over here, this gentleman, I'm sorry, I don't know his name. He should first counter why is Sanjay Singh arrested in the first place. There are specific allegations against him. If he can counter that, that will be better instead of saying that there is a big canvas which is being painted, but the real dot is not being addressed. Everything has to be specific. When you're dealing with law. Over here, you're dealing with questions of law and severe questions of law which have consequences within the IPC.
But Neoma, even today, again, with Sanjay Singh, let me just interject here. The matter was in the Rouse Avenue court today, Ms. Gupta.
Yes.
And fact is that the court wanted to know where was the need to arrest Sanjay Singh. They said you have already seized his cell phone. You have already seized his laptop. So where was the need to take him into custody? That is a question that has been posed again to investigative agencies. It's not like it's not like the court is not asking them these questions. Also, let me remind you, Neoma Gupta, fact is that the Supreme Court of this country, the apex court of this country, has over and over and over again frowned upon at a pre-trial arrest.
So, ma'am, just to tell you, I'm an advocate by profession. And when a matter is pending in court and hearings happen, there is a lot of judicial question answer between the court and the lawyers representing both sides of the thing. In that interaction, there are many queries which are posed and many answers which can be given at that juncture and ones which cannot be given at that juncture. The Supreme Court has kept its next hearing on the 12th of October, for which I am certain they will find the reasonable answers on behalf of ED. Being an independent authority, they will certainly answer that because the court has asked them to ask that. When it comes to the Rouse Avenue court, he has been given 5 days remand from what I'm aware of. Only if the court has found merit in something,
Correct,
will he be given those 5 days for investigation, interrogation, and remand. So matters are sub judice. Let law take its legal course. Let all this take its legal course. I have full faith in the judiciary and these investigative authorities that the correct things will happen at the right time.
Okay, Lokesh Jindal, essentially what the BJP spokesperson here is saying, that this is not rule by raid, as the opposition is saying. This is essentially the rule of law that is playing out. Why link it to elections?
Hi, Shreya. Shreya, since we are talking about the legal aspect, if you look at the PMLA Act and you compare it with the CRPC Act, we see that there are special provisions which gives the ED draconian powers. For example, with respect to summon, searching of premises, then seizure of certain objects or seizure of property. Over here, the Enforcement Directorate doesn't even require a warrant, which is required in the CRPC. So what I intend to say here is that Enforcement Directorate today has got draconian powers, and it was given to Enforcement Directorate to curb money laundering. But now there is a blatant misuse happening of these powers to gain political ends. For example, in July, the ED had charge sheeted Chhagan Bhujbal, Hassan Mushrif, and others, and ED was supposed to pursue the case. But then suddenly, after the ministers, they switched over to BJP, the ED stops functioning. And ED changes its radar, ED changes its focus on those ministers and leaders who are from the opposition. The idea is ED is supposed to curb money laundering. Okay, accepted, fair enough. That's the task of the government. But why provide cover and shield to those who are there with the BJP? Isn't that also corruption? Yes, that is. Our idea is if there is a rule of law, then everybody is equal before law. But by selectivism, you are bringing about inequality before law. So those who are with the BJP, they are insulated, they are beyond the reach of law, and those who are in the opposition, they are targeted by the law. So this form of an action by the government, it lays down a poor precedence, a poor form of polity, and it also erodes the credibility of the ED. People's faith in the investigation and the outcome of these searches and these findings. So there is a lot of, I would say, reforms that are required. The court is required to step in.
Again, the Congress making the charge that all opposition parties make against you, washing machine. Fact is that, if there is rule of law has to apply to everyone, right? Neoma, fact is that if we live by rule of law has to apply to everyone. So why doesn't it apply to leaders who have switched to the BJP? Those people are on our screens with specific charges against them. So this is a specific question to you. Why is the rule of law not applied to Shubhendu Adhikari or Himanta Baswa Sarma or Ajit Pawar?
Law
or
is
Narayan
applicable
Rane?
to any Indian. It's a simple code of our existence. There is nobody above the law. There's nobody below the law. We are all equal in the eyes of law. And I will not differ from this stand for anybody or everybody when I say this to you very categorically. Over here, there are specific allegations, as I've reiterated, where we have found evidence. Like yesterday, when the raid did happen at Mr. Sanjay's house, they said that they had found digital evidence, etc., which has created more furor in the case. Reiterating my point, because I think it's a point of mockery, there is nobody above the law. Everybody is equal in the eyes of law, being an Indian.
So again, the question, why have these gentlemen on our screens not been raided? By raid kya hoti hai? Raid hoti hai that you're looking for evidence, you think that evidence may be available, let's go look, right? That is a raid. That is how you find evidence.
That is the process.
That's how you're saying that evidence was found at Sanjay Singh's residence yesterday. Yes. So why not raid these gentlemen on our screens? They have also been accused of various corruption-related matters and scams.
Whatever the pendency of their investigations or whatever it is before anybody, they will be put within the framework. But over here, we are specifically saying, over here, we have found specific evidence against these people.
Okay. Ghanshyam, would you want to come in? I don't have too much time, but would you want to come in?
Very quick point. I mean, this whole tamasha about specific. How specific can ED be when it in May 2023 it said named Sanjay Singh in charge sheet by mistake? What kind of mistake is that? And then how specific can Supreme Court be when Supreme Court is grilling CBI and ED and saying, and we have Advocate Gupta, she's representing BJP, but she will use the judicial logic. Supreme Court is saying that the presentation you are making will fall flat in 2 minutes. A man who's elected education minister, one of the finest education ministers in the country, been in jail for 8 months. He has an ailing wife who he could not attend to. And yet the Supreme Court, the highest court, is saying that your charges will fall flat in 2 minutes. What kind of sham would it be? This is the Vishwaguru? This is specific charges. What are we talking about? They have turned democracy into a joke. This is a Gabbar Singh Sarkar. That when Gabbar Singh laughs, his people will laugh, and the joke is on the people. And those who stand with the people, whether you are a parliamentarian, whether you are a journalist, whether you are a government official, whether you are a civil society worker, or whether you are anybody. The Gabbar Singh is happy because people are tormented, and that is what CBI, ED, Amit Shah, all these people are supposed to deliver to Gabbar Singh, his happiness.
Okay, we'll leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much. This is not a debate that is ending anytime soon. I'm sure we'll find enough and more reasons in the coming days in the lead up to the election to have more such debates. We'll leave it there. Neoma Gupta, thank you very much. Ghanshyam Tiwari, Lokesh Jindal and Tausif Ahmed Khan, thank you. Thank you for this.